Hi, we're here at the Peace Tree Garden where we planted, Free Chinway Center planted this peace tree out here for the Reverend Upshine back in 2009. And we're here with Major Adams' daughter and Pradhan from the Chicago Center and Major Adams' family, and we're going to be presenting this Torchbearers Award to Major Adams' daughter, Diane Watts, for her service and work. She's carrying on her father's legacy, and she's working in Dallas, Texas, where she's working with 5 different organizations. And those organizations, she volunteers. She's not working, it's a volunteer. But one of the things that she does there is so powerful. She works with these children that are suicidal. And she does a marvelous job with them. And their parents are calling her day and night. And they just love her and her work. And so we're going to be presenting her with a Torchbearers Award like her father won. And to do that, we happen to have Pradhan Balter, the head of our Chicago Center. And would you please let me give the torch here as he placed that beautiful Torchbearers Award around her neck that she so honorably deserves.
Yes, the Torchbearers Award is given to people who very quickly, easily serve their community and their world community in small ways, medium ways, and large ways. Everyone has a role to play. And the Peace Run itself, founded by Sri Chinway, the spiritual inspiration behind the Peace Run, is simply about that each one of us bears a responsibility in making the world a little bit better place by taking a step. This torch has been carried around the world and held in hundreds of countries by over 1 million people. And the Torchbearer Award is a special award designed to honor those people who have served the world in whatever way God is or the community has chosen, or they've chosen to serve their community. So I'm very, very honored and happy to present this award to Diane Watts, Diane Adam Watts, who as Sebak has explained, does more than her share to make the world a better place.
All right, hey, now, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, Dad.
This is another one of the Sri Chinway peace trees here that are dedicated, in this case, to Major Adams, who has done so much work for the inner city communities. We planted this tree here in 2016. It's going to green up. It's suffering under the winter, as I guess we all are.
This torch is lit. We're gonna have to hold it kind of high so we don't burn that lovely hat you got on and everything. Reb, I'm gonna give you the torch. Maybe you can stand behind me so that
Say it where?
just right behind him for a minute until it's time for you to make your speech. You get all of that group.
Dave Mccool started working with young people in the early 1970s. His unique style of joking, singing, mentoring, organizing youth groups and activities allowed him to establish strong relationships with young people during their developmental stages of life. These relationships were vital as the young people grew into their teen years and young adult status. Dave relied heavily on the foundational framework he established with them while engaging in violence resolution activities. He was a conduit for the young youth and families when interacting with CPD by providing a level of trust and comfort for both sides. He assisted while brokering peace agreements between warring gang fractions to create safe zones for youth and families. He initiated several sporting activities and tournaments, allowing gang members to meet each other on the basketball court, football field, baseball diamond, and game room tables instead of in the streets of battle. He assisted many gang members with getting back into school and obtaining their GED. He provided food for those who were hungry, a place for them to get peace of mind in the boys' club, and or just lending an ear for their problems. His unique blended style of prevention and intervention gave many young people hope and saved their lives in the process. In Henry Horner, West Haven community, we have a legend in the name of James Major Adams. Many people wondered who would be the next major to replace him. While his life was taken far too prematurely, we all know that Dave Mccool was and will always be remembered as the student that took on the mantle of the master, and he did it well.
Amen. All right, real.
Whereas given this day, March 19, 2021, in the city of Chicago, Illinois, we, the Board of Managers, staff, volunteers of the Major Adams Community Committee, proclaim this honor to you on your extraordinary accomplishment toward humanity. Be it resolved that we, the staff, Board of Members of Major Adams, express our deepest gratitude to you, Miss Diane Watts, and your family for partnering with Major Adams Community Committee in completing our mission of empowering the lives of youth and families and creating an oasis in the community where kids matter.
Amen. All right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Get it. Diane Adams received this Torchbearers Award on behalf of Pat Mccool, Dave's wife, and she will present this Torchbearers Award which Pradhan from the Chicago Center is going to explain what this Torchbearer Award means and represents.
Yes, the Sri Chinmoy founded the Sri Chinmoy Oneness Home Peace Run, in which a torch is carried, like you see here, hand to hand, person to person, heart to heart around the world. Millions of people have touched the torch, carried the torch, hundreds of countries. The torch has been carried through hundreds of countries around the world. As an extension of the Sri Chinmoy Oneness Home Peace Run, we've initiated the Torchbearers Award to honor special individuals who have dedicated themselves to serving their community, big and small. So it's my particular honor to be able to present this to Diane again on behalf. I feel like we've done, haven't we?
We've done this before.
I'll make sure that
She's just racking up today.
Mccool family get this.
And she really want to thank you all for on Dave Mccool's and his family's behalf. And I like these masks and t-shirts. I can't wait for Ken Butler to get these out to the rest of the community after he serves the family. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I know what the man
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. Look at that torch. Yes. Yes.
Good afternoon. We're here at the Exodus Institute, and we're here to honor Major James Major Adams, one of my mentors, and he's done so much for the neighborhood and the communities over the west side and basically the south side. And so we have with us this day to honor him, his lovely daughter, his second daughter, and third child, Miss Diane Watts, but she was Diane Adams years ago. But we got her here and some other guests. We have other family members here from Major Adams. And then we have also Mr. Altman here, who happens to be the director here at Exodus Institute. We're at 816 North Laramie, where we sit back and we work with people in the neighborhood and the community, and we serve and we try to do what Major Adams taught us to do to help out people in the community. Major has been an influence over so many people's lives for over so many years. I can recall we were doing things in other neighborhoods and areas, and guys that we were downtown in Chicago at the Illinois State Building, and the elevator operator came out. He had to be about 65 years old. And he saw Major. He said, "My mentor." So Major was about 85 or 86 at that time. But he's been influential in all of our lives, and his daughter is here because we adopted Major as our father. He saved so many of us. And I know we may have taken some things from the family or whatever. So she's here to kind of give her side of how she felt about us stealing her father. so if you want to say anything. Oh, and she happened to have a t-shirt with his picture and the street sign on there also. And she's a little shy, but she's also doing some great work in the community where she lives. I understand that she's worked with about 5 different organizations where she volunteers, especially with the youth. She works with some suicidal youth. And the way that she seemed to be able to do and carry on her father's legacy, not here in our community, but in another area, but
Dallas, Texas.
She's in Dallas, Texas. You're definitely right. And so her work has been very good down there, and we're proud of her because she comes from the west side of Chicago. And so if you would like to say anything, how you feel, if you're mad at us for adopting your father.
Oh, well, thank you very much for all the wonderful words you said. But a lot of people does not know that my dad was born in Atlanta, and his mom brought him up here when he was little. And he also used to walk. That's why he walked so much. He used to walk to school all the time to save his shoes. He would never wear his shoes walking. He said, I don't want no holes in my shoes. I want to get to school. That's all I want. And he would walk to school in his barefoot. And as long as I can remember, he's lived in Jewtown, and his mom still lived there when we was growing up. And we lived in 120th in Hermitage. I really knew my dad when I was 4. I used to look out the window and watch him go to work, and watch him talk about the choke sandwiches. And watch him,
Oh boy.
Why we couldn't, yeah, oh boy. And those words, oh boy, was because my father didn't curse. So when we were little, yeah, that's why he used to use that word all the time. You notice my dad, have you ever heard my dad curse? Really curse?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Then I learned my dad drink, which I never thought he drank.
Oh.
But the worst thing about it was growing up was, where's my dad today? And then he'll take us and ice skate, and we have fun with him and dance with us on his feet. He taught me how to step.
All right.
Yeah. And the worst thing about it is I didn't understand we were kids. We used to get so many toys, but we could only keep one. And we had to donate the rest of them to the boys' club.
Thank you.
And coming up, I really didn't discuss my father with no one, as you know.
Yeah.
Because I wanted him all to myself. But I went to an award with him once after I told him that, and he took me to an award, and I was really proud of my dad because then that's when I get teary-eyed. But
okay. We got tissue?
Mm-hmm. That's when I first realized how many people really love my dad. And that's when I found out I had been very selfish in the way that I was. So that's why I said, well, let me just follow his footsteps and do the volunteer work that I do in Dallas, Texas.
That's so wonderful that you followed in his footsteps. It's so important what Major did. I can remember coming up, it was Major Adams and Colonel Knight. And we happened to have so many different groups over in the area. We had the Honor Guards, that was a drill team. We had the Silver Anchors, which was Colonel Knight's group, which was a rifle team, and they did different drills also. We had one group of drummers down called St. Andrews, and St. Andrews, it was a Catholic church. Then you had a group called IC, which they happened to have guys from Rockwell and the Village projects also come together. And then there was the Boy Scouts that was also down there. They were on Damon and Washington. And Major Adams happened to leave the Boys Club for a moment, and he was a little upset with the Boys Club, and the Boys Club begged him to come back. And when he came back, he united all those different groups, and they came together. Major was teaching little G bugles, but when Major came back and brought all those groups together, that united us as one. And we had the guys from IC, they had went out and joined this group called the Yellow Jacks, called Giles Yellow Jacks. And for some reason, when Major came back and started working everything, the drum corps, some kind of way wound up with the Yellow Jacks drums. And so since everybody united, and we were in Henry Hunter Projects anyway, and we said, well, listen, we ain't got to change that B that's on those drums that was a Yellow Jack. We'll just name it the Hornets, and it was called St. Andrew's Hornets at the time. And I think it was called that because Miss Porter happened to come, and Miss Porter happened to have a nice lump sum of money, and she really supported what Major was doing, and she was a great influence on us. And all those groups came together. We wound up going down where Harpo Studio is now, but we were down
It's a parking lot right behind the Plumbers Union. And in that parking lot, the first song that was played, and it was drum and bugle corps used to do themes. And the theme that they did that year was called West Side Story. And the first song that was played as everybody lined up in the end zone was Exodus. This land, God gave this land to me. And it was so powerful. We happen to be at Exodus Institute right now because we united a bunch of different groups here and a bunch of different churches. And it was Exodus, the movement of the children. Exodus is the movement out of the hood. Exodus, that first song touched me so hard. They played another song, More, Somewhere. Those songs meant something. It was so dynamic. And there was other groups that came and helped Major to start it. And after the St. Andrew Hornets got popular, they developed some more guys that came in, such as Jerry over here, that came from Robert Taylor projects from the South Side because we got popular in '68. And it was actually a '66 because all of the guys went to Crane High School and we all jumped in the band. And a few of them went to the orchestra, Verdine of Earth, Wind, and Fire. But the majority of them went there and started learning how to play horns and drums. I played kettle drums and the triangle. And but we developed something and it became so powerful that people were coming, youth were coming from all over, and Major would have to walk them to the Ale. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let Jerry tell that story.
Yeah,
You can take your mask down.
I believe it was in about 1970.
Speak up.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember so far back, 1970. We were recruited actually by Arthur Robinson of South Shore Drill Team.
Amen.
And we came over and it was we were, I don't know, maybe 12, 13 years old. We jumped on the train and from 47th and Federal to end up at Ashland and Lake Street. And so basically Major was supposed to meet us there because we didn't know where we were going. All we knew was we had to get off that train. And so we came down the steps and there were two guys standing there with shotguns. And we didn't know whether to run because we knew it wasn't good. And so as we came down the stairs, the guys began to, we were startled, we were young, and the next thing we know, we hear, "Whoa, boy."
That's cursing.
Was that old boy or whoa?
Old boy.
It's old boy. Well,
Old boy.
It started off as a kid, old boy, and then it just moved up, and everybody just kind of changed it to old boy, which is good,
Yeah,
because
well,
the generation understands. You see, as his kids, we understood old boy because when he tell us something and he said, "Oh boy," he meant it.
All right.
And so ironically, the guys with the shotgun, I never knew who they were. Major never told me who they were. But the thing of it, he says, once he said that, they said, "Oh, these are your boys." And so the guys walked away. And so every time we would come, Major would meet us up at the Lake Street L and walk us to the building. At the end of the day, he would walk us back. And we were just, what do they call that? We adopted Major at that time because we saw that he cared that much about us. And I think I was there until at least 10 years later.
Well, we want to thank you for that story, but we got to go to the Peace Tree. Major Adams has a peace tree named after him at Major Adams Academy. It's in front of the academy. And it's there for peace and love and harmony in the community. And we have here a nice presentation that Diane, Mrs. Watts, but I call her Diane Adams, is going to make a presentation to Exodus Institute in memory of her father. And this award. I think, Mr. Altman, would you be willing to accept this award on behalf of Mrs. Watts, because she so wanted to give this. Could you put that up there in that camera? And we're gonna appreciate this here at Exodus Institute. We're gonna honor it, and we feel so blessed to receive this award from his daughter, Diane, and this is gonna carry on our legacy. Furthermore, this is one of the first things, other than us talking about Major and some of the pictures that I have of some of the, over the years of what he's done. We have to go on because we have some more presentations that we're going to make, and we really have to get to these other events.